All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. We're going to do an early morning podcast here. We were able to chase Chauncey Bell down from Ultimate Hitting, and we have a 2 hour delay here in Indianapolis for school and whatnot. So Chauncey was able to come on here early. We're excited to have her. And so, Chauncey, thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
And just so everybody knows, Chauncey's on her phone, so there'll be no video of Chauncey today, but that's okay. We're going to get some great advice and some great tips and some great understandings from her. So, just to introduce Chauncey, Chauncey played for the University of Alabama from 2012 to 2015 and was a catcher and actually won the College World Series in 2012 as a freshman. That's pretty cool, Chauncey. Was that fun?
Yes, that was amazing. I don't know if that's something you can never forget, and it was an experience I wish every girl had for sure.
So I thought what we do is we kind of, obviously that's kind of a backstory, but to finish the backstory, I think, my favorite story of when Chauncey played ball, and I know you know this, Chauncey, is Game 3 Super Regionals. The loser goes home. You're playing Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. The loser goes home, and here you are. It's the bottom of the 4th inning, 1 out. There's a runner on second, and they just walked somebody in front of you because I guess you were the 4th hitter in the lineup. 4th, 5th, yes. And 6th hitters weren't doing so hot at the time for Alabama. And I think the announcers make a good point to that if you watch the video. So I thought I'd cue it up. We're going to go to the timeout right before Chauncey's coming to bat with 2 out or 1 out, runners on second and first.
Correct.
And we're going to see what that looked like, what happened. Probably one of your favorite moments, I'd imagine. So if I was you, I'd watch it over and over and over again.
Freshman against senior.
Saw earlier, you're going to see Shelby Penley, the shortstop, pulled over in that 5-6 hole, forcing Bell to go up the middle, opposite field.
Fouled into the pen. The numbers in the heart of the order for Bama, not good so far. And Bell change it with 1 swing. Bell looking for the base hit, and she's got it. McClenny coming home. Alabama with the lead.
Chauncey Bell just does a beautiful job with a pitch left up in the zone. She just gets enough of it. It's actually better that she doesn't crush it because then it drops in front of Parsons. And with the speed of McClenny sliding around Ellis at home.
And I love the way McClenny read that, knowing it was going to drop. She had a great jump.
Big hand for Bell, who watched her sister Chanda with success at the University of Kentucky. And now a huge moment for the little sister. Driving in the first.
What's going through your head? What's happening there with Chauncey? Let's get a quick backstory. What's going on? Is that the game? Is that the moment? Is that the biggest stage? Is that it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one of the biggest stage other than being, in Oklahoma. And what's funny is Oklahoma's been one of our biggest rivalries anyways. When we played them, we've knocked them out, I think 3 out of the 4 years I was there. So that rivalry was already huge. And to have them at home was just huge. So Stakes were already high. That was actually the third game of the series. They beat us in the very first game. We had to come back the next day and play 2 games in a row, which is really hard against any team to beat someone twice in one day. So we had already won the second game, which was the first game of that day. And then that was the second game, the video you just saw. And, you know, win or lose, or you're going home. So it was huge. And to know Oklahoma could go back home basically to the backfield of their university and their fields there, they just have a home advantage. So we were like, we got to beat them. So it was just a huge moment. And I mean, that's something I'll remember for forever. But honestly, one of my favorite moments comes later, about 3 innings later, when one of my teammates bases loaded and hits a grand slam to win the game. So it really just was an amazing experience, and it took us to the World Series for the last time, at least for me. And it's awesome to be a part of something so great.
So you leave college, obviously graduated, right? And
yes.
at some point started working at Ultimate Hitting. Was that a couple weeks, a couple months, a couple years? How long until you started? I guess you've been coaching and helping train people on how to hit and catch for a while, right?
Right. So I actually started giving lessons in high school, up in around different areas. And I always gave lessons while I was in Alabama. And then I came home around June, and I actually started grad school first, and was doing that at IU first semester. And Mike Wyatt messaged me and was like, hey, like, I heard you're back in town, would love for you to come work at UH. And I was like, yeah, this is perfect. So I was really only starting out, 2 days a week, just with school and stuff. And so kind of did that for a couple months. And then, with time, I think things with Mike Wyatt were going on where he kind of had the opportunity to be with his family and kind of travel. And I think he was really big on that. And he's worked hard his whole life to get to that point. So he kind of approached me and said that he was, ready to retire, and asked if this was something that I wanted to do full time and if this was a passion. And it just couldn't have been a more perfect opportunity for me. I absolutely love this sport. I love everything about it. I love just meeting new girls and feeding into their life, not just softball, but, on a personal level, and just trying to make them not the best athlete, but also a great person. When they leave Ultimate Hitting, they're getting a full experience of, they're feeling confident when they're leaving our place, and they're going to go out there and be a better teammate and a better student. And you got to be the full package if you want to play in college. And that's what a lot of our girls want to do. And if that's not something they want to do, we have girls that come in and that just want to play school ball, and which is totally fine. We're ready and preparing them for that. And we are on the road and journey, whatever that is for each of our girls. And it's different. Everyone has a different goal. So it's just learning what each one is and tending to it.
So October of 2000 last year, does that work? So 2017,
yes,
you purchased Ultimate Hitting.
Yes.
And it's probably been quite a ride. A new business owner. I always love the perspective. I think back to some of the things were always going through my head, and things that I worried about and thought about and whatever. And Chaunsey, I wanted to ask you, obviously I'm very attached to this. This is obviously, you're one of our clients. We do a bunch of stuff. So I'm very aware of what's going on, but I talk to other business owners that, I don't know if it's a mindset or a block in the head, or, they're just stopping themselves from understanding that, can you run a business on Facebook?
110%. I can't believe it's already been 4 months and our business has grown immensely. And just through Facebook, it's just unbelievable how much the social media platform can really just explode someone's business. Whether it's someone just liking your page or leaving a comment or giving a review. One person does it and 20, 30, 40 of their friends see it. I don't know how many touches there are. That's something you guys are good at that. So
Yeah,
I know I always love
kinda
hearing the
watch that.
information you give back to us, but it's just amazing how much just within the last 4 months, how many new girls we have had sign up with Ultimate Hitting. It's
And I
really
think that's
unbelievable.
awesome. And I think it's awesome because, obviously I'm very passionate about this because I really love, obviously my daughter, if anybody doesn't know, my daughter plays softball. Yes. She gets trained by Chauncey for catching and hitting. I think you're pretty good. You're pretty good at that stuff, by the way.
Thanks.
So, um, but you're constantly growing the business, and in this business, there is going to be a time when someone stops playing softball, right? Or
Right.
they're going to be
Mhm.
off to college, and they're not going to be trained by you anymore.
Right.
And so it's a constant growth pattern there, or kind of what we would call a revolving door.
Right.
It's really interesting. So, one of the things that I know we've done for you, and a lot of people don't know that we do, or we can do, or we help with. And this is kind of I guess we're pitching JD today. I guess that's what this podcast is about. So we help you with your booking software, right? We integrate things. We make things a little bit more efficient wherever we can. How has that helped you? I mean, you're walking.
I mean, it's been huge. I've had, numerous compliments on just how easy and accessible our booking system is, and how if someone cancels or if you do book a lesson, you're sent an email right away, just giving you a confirmation. And then as well as 4 to 5 hours before your lesson, you're also given an email that you guys set up to say, hey, don't forget you have lessons at 5 today. Because, life goes on and people forget. And it's just nice to have that reminder. And also as simple as you guys helped me set up credit card on there. I mean, that was huge. Business didn't do that before. And I think that just made it so much accessible and easier for people, just as little as setting a credit card up. But just in a whole that now teams can book on there, and people just are it's the access through the Facebook page on the Book Now button is just unbelievable for the business. And instead of people calling all the time saying, hey, are you open at this time and this time? And it just made it easier for me. And I've just gotten so many compliments from our clients just saying how wonderful and how it's just nice to get those reminders as well.
So for those that don't know, you guys do about anywhere between 100 and 130 lessons a week.
Correct.
Basically in about 16 hours of
Yeah.
open business time in the evenings on 4 days a week. That's a pretty amazing statistic. I mean, if you right, it's a lot,
Right.
a lot of moving around, lots going on. How do you facilitate that? I mean,
Well,
without giving away your trade secret, how do you
Yeah.
how do you facilitate that? How do you manage that? And how do you manage the expectations of your clients? Because I think that's a big deal, right? Setting clear expectations.
Right, absolutely. Well, what I think the booking system definitely helps on the management side, getting people in there smoothly. People know what time they're in, um, and kind of know the expectations of that. Once you come into Ultimate Hitting, we try and make it the most amazing experience from the time you're there to the time you leave. And you're in there for maybe an hour and 10 minutes. You get there a little early, get your cuts in, but when you first walk in, it's as simple as knowing where you're going at first. We have your name on the board, and you decide what side you're going to be on, and you know which instructors you're going to be working with that night. We have 3 to 4 instructors going on during the night, and depending on what side you're going to work with instructors. And what's great about Ultimate Hitting is we're all on the same page, but yet we all have a different eye and we get a different look at a girl. So one night you might be working with me, and one night you might be working with Aubrey, Bailey, or Casey. And all of us girls are trained in everything we've done. We're all on the same page. We teach the same type of drills, and can have that eye to see, when there is something going wrong, we can fix it. So I think definitely the girls I work with, we just do a really good job of making it as personal to that one athlete as we can. We give as much time to them, and we cater to them, and we work on their specific needs for that night. Even it only being an hour, they're getting so many reps in, and they have 3 to 4 different eyes on them throughout the night. And I just think that's pretty big, because I know a lot of other places out there, it's usually a one coach per 3, 4, 5 kids, where we have 2 eyes on those 3 or 4 kids. So I just think the whole experience and all, just how genuine our staff is towards the girls, and just really wanting them to get better and push them. It's not always a tap on the back, and sometimes we do have to get into them, but that's the way we got to push them a little bit. So I definitely think the relationship we have with our kids is what makes our system so successful.
So, well, here's something that I've noticed in the past couple of weeks specifically. There are a lot of people that have goals to go on and play in college, whether it be D1 or maybe even D2, NAIA, whatever it might be. And you've actually been, and for those that don't know, it's a big deal about going to camps, right? Going to a college camp,
Right.
being seen by these coaches, having your opportunity to kind of show your stuff. You probably could speak better to it than I could. And you actually went to Alabama. You're probably just a little down memory lane trip for you, but went to the camp with a bunch of girls from your facility, right?
Yes.
And then the next week went to IU, right?
Yeah, correct.
How many people, coaches, hitting coaches or hitting facilities invest in their players like that?
I don't know. I hope some do, because I think that's part of the experience. I think girls need to feel like that it's not just a 1 hour a week type of lesson. I want, my girls to know that we're going to be there for them no matter what. And if there's anything I can do to help them outside of just that 1 hour, I'm going to do it. So any chance I can see my girls play outside and go to a camp, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to support them. And whether it's not even that I have to be instructing them, it's just knowing that I'm there and I believe in them, and I'm going to push them. And if they do need something along the way, we're going to be there. And just like this fall, I was able to go to multiple tournaments and watch our girls, and it's just really cool to see them outside of the cage. That's where it really happens. And we really want, I'm always curious if what we're doing inside the cage is, showing up on the field. And if it's not, then I'm not doing my job, and I need to be better. So it's just all about growing these girls and really getting them connected with coaches, because a lot of our girls do want to play in college. And just through my own recruiting process and playing softball, and I met tons of coaches. So I have a lot of contacts, which is great. And if I can ever email or call, I tell my girls all the time, add me in your email. I have no problem with texting a coach, calling a coach, whatever I can do to help. And I know a lot of travel coaches do that, which is awesome. I'm not a travel coach, so I have it on more of a different side where I can tell them what I see in their training, and what kind of kid they are when they are in there for an hour, how hard they work. So it's just really cool. I love that. I love this game, and I love any opportunity I can to invest in our girls.
So you got this great passion for the game, and this business is definitely what I would call a relationship business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because you're dealing with parents, which,
right.
I'm one of them. So I guess I can say it. Sometimes we're crazy, right? I'll be the first one to admit it. Sometimes we're crazy about our kids. And
right.
at the other side of it is we have people that we're trying to develop.
Right.
And sometimes those things interfere. But I think you guys do an awesome job I know you do an awesome job at, setting realistic expectations, really working with the girls to get better. So the business has grown on Facebook. The business is, I would say, operationally more efficient. And was this hard for you to do, or was it pretty easy?
Well, you guys did a ton of that stuff for me. So I'd have to say it was easy on my part, but I can only imagine what you guys had to do to go through it. And I can't thank you guys enough, because you guys have helped take my business to a totally another level. And it's just insane to see how much just one like or one review can do for your business. It really is amazing. Everyone is connected through the internet, whether you know it or not. And I mean, we have kids 2 hours away that will come and travel. And I sit there and think, how do these kids from 2 hours know about ultimate hitting? And it's just because of Facebook. It's someone like this and sent this and tagged us on that. And that wouldn't have been possible without the platform that you guys kind of set for us and how just accessible it was to get people connected. So it's just been awesome what you guys have done for us.
Yeah. And I think when you say people travel up to 2 hours, I mean, we've seen that, right? That's 2 hours every week. That's not
Exactly.
like they just showed up for one lesson. This is like kind of, you get into this game and you're really going every week. So, man, yeah, it's a fantastic deal. And you're right. Social media is very powerful. And that's probably more the platform we use with your business, and reviews are a part of that. It's not just getting a review. Reviews are going to happen. That's really part of the culture that we live in today. We just launched in Australia and it's totally different. The UK is totally different, but in the United States, reviews are going to happen. But when you do it right and you're taking care of your clients and you've got a great process and everything works the way it's supposed to work, you now have that ability, that great content. In my world, when you talk about digital marketing, you're talking about content. Now your customer is writing your content for you. And how cool is that? Because generating your own content sucks. I suck at doing it. I can't do it. So
I don't think that's true. I've seen your stuff.
So, but it's hard, right? To talk about your own business and you're trying to put it in the perspective of a person and all that good stuff. So now your customers telling you what's important and what was important to them. And there's things well beyond the review, right? I always tell businesses, and I don't think it's ever happened to you. I think it happened by accident one time, but everybody might have seen our last podcast where we had Scott Stein on, and he's a 5.0, he's 5 stars and he's never had a bad review. And I told him, I said, that's a bad thing. And he got a little frustrated by that, but a bad review or some bad feedback is okay. It's probably the best thing that can happen to you, because now you can go and look at your operational platform and say, okay, what can we change? What can we make better to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Right.
I work with many companies. An example would be a shirt company. They sent 5 shirts off to a business that had ordered like 5 T-shirts, or somebody had ordered 5 T-shirts with 5 different logos, and they all showed up with the same logo.
Right. Wow.
Okay. Whoops.
Yep.
Total accident, right? I don't think they intentionally meant to do this, but now what they're able to do is they're able to take care of the customer. Obviously, I'm sure they fixed it, and now they can go back to their operations and look at it and say, okay, where specifically did we have a breakdown where we can stop this from ever happening again?
Right.
And that's what makes you better. And taking that feedback, and I know you do. And what about live Facebook? Does that work?
Absolutely. Yes.
Do you like doing it?
I'm not the biggest fan, but just when you kind of push me to do it, you're like, Chauncey, let's go live video tonight. It's awesome to have that push from you. And it really does help. You end up getting a lot more views and a lot more shares and likes when you do live video. And it just gives the people on the outside kind of a look in on what we do. Even if it's for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, they can get a real full experience of what we're doing. And yeah,
it's from my side of it, it's a strategy thing. Facebook favors it. But Facebook Live is favored and gets kind of pushed out there a little bit further, a little bit faster, a little bit harder,
right?
Versus just doing a post. Sharing tops it all the time. If things get shared and everything, I think you got a post out there today. So, Ryan, I know Ryan Kardash is on here listening right now. Bailey's on here, so go to the Ultimate Hitting Facebook page. I think there was a post shared this morning. Everybody should share it. I think it says, tough times go away, but tough people don't, something like that. So it's a great quote. And so everybody should share that, just so that we all know you were here.
Right. Absolutely. Early in the morning, we want to know you were awake with us.
Right. So Chauncey, what is the future for 2018? What's your goals in the business, and from a marketing standpoint, or even from just a growth standpoint? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think one of the couple of goals, I want to book every hour out. I want to get this place booming and just have the girls enjoying the experience with us. And I'd love to take it where we're doing more focus on helping these girls get recruited, whether that's helping girls make their videos, their skills videos, setting up stations within Ultimate Hitting, helping the athlete get to the next level, showing a example of what an email to a college coach would look like and how we make those contacts and what we need to be doing now, so that it's not just coming in once a week for an hour and hitting and leaving, but it's a learning experience for all of us, that we can go in there and be more engaged on the process of getting to that next level. I would love to at some point open up another facility and get this going and just make this, that's a big dream down the road, but I'm all about the process, and I'm so excited. I mean, just in 4 months and just how much we've grown, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I'm just excited to see where this is in 4 more months, and really just investing in the girls.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, I mean, I legitimately would say that in 4 months' time, actually probably in about 2 months' time, the business legitimately doubled.
Absolutely.
That's the power of Facebook. Well, it's the power of you too, and it's a power of what you guys actually do. Because it's one thing for somebody to show up once and try it out. It's a whole nother deal for them to continue to come week after week after week. So, I do not do online reviews, Chauncey. So I feel like it's not right because I'm in that business and things can be swayed.
Right.
So I legitimately don't leave online reviews, but I will tell anybody on this podcast, so there's a video testimonial for you. There is no better place. You cannot go out to a hitting facility, and I've been around, and get the results that you get. My daughter, for whatever it's worth, legitimately scored, no base on airs count. Her batting average was 418 last season. And I go back and I think how often she comes and she's working really hard, and you guys are pushing her, and I like that. And I look at her swing now and I'm like, man, your swing was terrible last year. So it's like a progression. This continues to be this great progression as to what's going on. So JR says roll tide, just so you know. He's
roll tide.
And my daughter's also a catcher, so she gets to get with you in catching. And I mean, I don't even know where else you could go to get catching lessons, to be honest with you. And I know that that's probably where a lot of people come to you at first, right? They come in and they say, couldn't find a catching coach. That's
right. They'll come in and catch and see what we're about, and they're like, wow, I want to get into this hitting too. So
I tell my daughter every time on our way to hitting and catching lessons, I tell her, you have no idea how lucky you are. And to have that opportunity this close, I would encourage anybody, there's nothing wrong with booking an appointment and trying it out. Ultimate Hitting is not a place where you every Tuesday at 6:00 is your time. You can go online, book when you're available. I'm probably the worst, right, Chauncey? I think sometimes Tuesday.
Putting it on there. Oh, okay. Yep.
Well, since Kardash is on here, I'm gonna give him a hard time too, man. I see him flopping all over the place too. But hey, things come up. We're all busy, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Coach calls a practice, we got to change it up. No big deal. And you guys make that super easy. So that's my testimonial. Anybody, you have to try out. Just try it out. You have nothing to lose to go in and book one appointment and try it out. And you'll probably never leave, because that's what happens. That's when you realize what kind of that next level. I always like that term, by the way. So I'm big on catchphrases. So
yes.
Next level softball training, ultimate hitting. So Chauncey, I know you got to get. So glad that we had a 2-hour delay today, so we could get this done and not do it at like midnight or something. So
absolutely, yes. And I just appreciate everything you do and what your company does for my business, and it just would not be possible without you guys and your mentorship and just that push too. Sometimes you're like, okay, Chauncey, like it's time, like let's go, and I'm like, you're right, okay. And that's just great to have that relationship. And I feel that you guys are just as invested in me as I am in my girls, and just that relationship is super important no matter who you're working with. So I really appreciate that about you guys, and really what you've done for my company and just getting us out there and making it accessible, and it's been so much easier on me. So I just appreciate what you guys have done, and it's just awesome working with you guys all the time. And just even if it's for 10 minutes, a 10-minute phone call on my way to work, it's awesome to kind of just get that feedback and push from you. So I really appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate that feedback, and we're all in on this when it comes to digital marketing, just like you're all in with your training and what you're doing. So when those two things collide, it works out real well. And
Absolutely.
you do what you do best. We do what we do best. And when it works out that way, it works real well. And obviously this is how it works. You get some phenomenal results. I don't think too many people can say, hey, I bought a business and I doubled it in 2 months. I don't think anybody can say that. So, I wish
couldn't have done it without you guys. So, and
I'm
definitely the girls, our staff and everything. So I really appreciate you guys.
I got to find something to buy where that would work out. That would be great. So, well, Chaunsey, thanks again. We're going to cut it off. And if you guys have questions, comments, feel free to put it down here. Chaunsey's is copied on the Ultimate Hitting Facebook page. You can answer questions if you have questions. If you have questions for topics that you'd love us to discuss on the show, feel free to drop us a comment, drop us a private message, whatever the case might be. We're always here, and I can't wait to do the next one. And maybe Chaunsey can pick the next victim, if you will, because she loves live interviews, guys. She loves it. It's her favorite.
Absolutely. Well, this was awesome. So I hope you have me back on in, let's say, a year or so, kind of see what's been there. So
a year. I will definitely have you on again. I can't wait, because I can't wait to see what does happen this year. It'll be a great time.
Awesome. Thanks, JD.
Thank you, Chaunsey, and hang on there, Chaunsey.
Okay.